All right, guys, I just got done night diving in Indonesia, and I cannot believe what we just filmed tonight with the Bobbit Worm is mind-blowing. Total nightmare fuel, but super awesome at the same time. Check this out. You won't be sorry. We're starting our dive at dusk, and we'll be focused on the seabed in front of us. This is typically when the most interesting creatures are active. And right away, there's a lionfish. These fish are down here hunting right now, and those spines on its back are covered in a potent neurotoxin. They can cause excruciating pain and even paralysis in anything it touches. These waters are absolutely filled with them, as well as their cousin, the scorpionfish. So anytime I make contact with the ocean floor, I'll be checking to make sure that I don't land on anything I'm not supposed to. Now, I've seen a lot of bizarre and nightmarish looking creatures before. I've been bitten by bloodworms, burned by a fireworm, and even stung by the infamous Man O War. But nothing makes my skin crawl quite like the Bobbit Worm. These elusive predators have built up a serious reputation over the years and even inspired monsters in movies like the ones in Dune and Tremors, both featuring killer sandworms that live underground that burst through the desert sand with their powerful jaws to attack and kill their prey. Those worms are science fiction. The Bobbit Worm you are about to see feed in the night is very real. Now, at this point in the dive, I had no idea I was going to find any Bobbit Worms, but these are the events as they unfolded, leading to that very moment. What we have here is a school of catfish. They use a very interesting schooling technique where they actually cascade over each other like a waterfall. They do this to take turns so they can stop and feed, but there's always another catfish to replace the front line. Grouping together like this helps ward off predators and makes the school of catfish appear like a much larger fish. All right, time to move on. Oh wow, look at that. I have never seen one of these nudibranch before. This one is actually called a bubble shell. It gets its name because of that shell right there at the center of its body. Now, these shells are different to the ones on a typical snail. They are thin, fragile, and too small to fit the entire animal inside. But it is absolutely stunning in coloration. Look at those bright blue edges. It almost glows out here in the darkness. Very cool. On night dives like this, you really never know what you're going to find. It's a very alien-like environment, and when you're out here in the muck, it almost appears like the lunar surface. And here is another really bizarre and unique creature. This is a cuttlefish. Related to the octopus, these sea creatures are super intelligent. In fact, some scientists believe they're more intelligent than their 8-armed cousins. Let's carefully swim up for a closer look. What's really unique about these creatures at first sight is how they change their coloration almost instantaneously. Oh, look at this, it's moving into hunt. Oh, it almost got that fish. That fish was so lucky. Oh. The cuttlefish is turning right toward me. Look at that coloration change. Now, some scientists believe not only did they change their coloration as a camouflage technique, but they can actually communicate through the change in color and pattern in their skin. I wonder if it's trying to tell me something. Clearly it knows that I'm no longer a threat. It's hanging out. Let me just put my hand out right. Guys, this is too cool. This cuttlefish is so comfortable with us that it's letting me almost use my hand as a perch. Now, make no mistake, these cuttlefish are super fast and it could swim away in a split second if it wanted to. and it's likely just as curious about me as I am about it. Holy cow. I'm almost at a loss for words. All right, let's grab our dive rig and keep adventuring into the night. Wow. That's a pair of moray eels. This is one of the animals that divers need to be especially careful around because they are super territorial and they also have razor sharp teeth. If you stick your hand in the wrong place down here, you can take a pretty aggressive chomp from one of these large eels. And the biggest problem is once they bite, they don't let go. They can even spin into a death roll similar to a crocodile. We're gonna leave those two alone and keep moving forward. Now that is a porcupine fish, and a super colorful one at that. A lot of the porcupine fish that I'm used to seeing are more brown and gray in coloration. This one is more of a reddish maroon. And oh, I found something so cool. Guys, check this out. This is a bobtail squid. I've always wanted to see one of these. Now these bobtail squid really look like a little octopus because of their super long tentacles. They're almost the in-between between a cuttlefish and an octopus. But these bobtail squid are also super intelligent and extremely charismatic. It's trying to bury itself beneath the sand to hide away from our cameras. I see you. Look at it using its little arms to cover itself with sand and sediment to try to blend in. You can still see its little siphon is uncovered there. Wow. Whoa. Look out for those. Those are scorpion fish, and they are venomous. Related to the stonefish, these scorpion fish have venomous spines on the dorsal and pectoral fins. And if you accidentally brush into them, they can give you a really nasty sting. I know all too well just how it feels because I once took a sting from the scorpion fish
and I've tested
myself.
the sting of a Man O War. Ah, man, that one nailed me.
What is that? That's a Bobbit Worm. Oh my gosh. We gotta get in for a closer look. Those mandibles, look at those jaws, they are huge. If that's not a sci-fi monster, I don't know what is. And look at its skin. It's iridescent. It almost has a rainbow shimmer to it. And you could see its serrated jaws open and ready to clasp onto any would-be victim that crosses its path. And do you see those little antennae right by the jaws? Those are sensory organs, sensing the chemicals and vibrations in the water so it can detect prey and launch out for an attack. And with a body length of up to 10 feet, there's a lot more to this worm than meets the eye. And using all that friction that it has from that long burrow, it possesses incredible strength and can take down large fish as prey in a split second. Let's see if we can get the bobbit worm to snap its jaws for the cameras. Whoa! Oh my goodness. Wow. Now not only are those jaws serrated, but the bristles along its body are actually venomous. And the bobbit worm uses them as a defense mechanism. So it's not just the jaws you have to worry about. Oh no! The little porcupine fish followed us over. It must be attracted to the dive lights. That porcupine fish is very lucky to have escaped the bobbit worm. But that was pretty interesting to see it use its defense mechanism to puff up like that and to be successful with it. Whew, that got my heart racing. Let's wait here for a second to see if this bobbit worm can find any other prey. Look who showed up. The scorpion fish is coming to take a look. I wonder if the scorpion fish thinks this bobbit worm could be food. It certainly is creeping in really slow. Let's hang here for a second to see what happens. I cannot believe what we just saw. I think we're going to need to see that one more time, but this time we're going to slow it down. You can really see how the bobbit worm inspired the movies Dune and Tremors. Look at the sand bubbling. I can only imagine what's happening down there below the surface. That might be the most disturbing thing I have ever seen on any dive I've ever been on. Wow. Scientists are still uncovering the mysteries of this notorious creature, not only seeking to understand its behavior, but also its role in the environment. But one thing is for certain, these creatures are absolutely terrifying. Bloodworms hunt for prey in the tidal mudflats of both the Atlantic and Pacific coasts of the United States and Canada. They have also earned the nickname sludge worm, since their habitat consists of thick mud and quicksand that can easily swallow your boots whole. To find these slimy predators, worm diggers use special rakes to quickly peel back mud and reveal worms on the move that could be sold as prize fishing bait. And while they can be difficult to find, some of the best worm diggers in Maine can collect up to 1,000 worms a day, with the largest ones growing up to 15 inches long. After hours of digging and covered head to toe in mud and sweat, we fill the bucket and set the stage for one of the worst bites we've ever filmed. Welcome to the Bloodworm bite table. What I have in front of me here are 5 very large bloodworms. No, these are not your granddad's night crawlers, folks. These are natural born killers. Armed with 4 venomous fangs and an appetite to match, we have been told that these worms pack one heck of a bite. Some people say that it's like a bee sting, and locals have even told us that they've seen worm diggers crawling out of the mudflats in near tears from being bitten by these carnivorous worms. But there is one key piece of information that we learned from the original Bloodworm video to today, and that is you can actually head a bloodworm. Similar to how a herpetologist would head a venomous snake to keep it from biting them, I will actually attempt to grab the proboscis once it shoots out and then intentionally inflict my first bite. And yes, I said first bite. There's gonna be more than one. Now what I'm going to try to do is head the proboscis, and while I'm attempting to do this, let's review some of the most interesting facts about this bizarre marine oddity. The bloodworm is a venomous segmented worm that hunts invertebrates and other marine creatures. Armed with 4 razor-sharp fangs and a projectile mouth called a proboscis, they are voracious predators and are as aggressive as they are bizarre. One of the most shocking things about these worms is how normal they can appear and then in a split second transform into one of the most alien-looking life forms you've ever seen. And as if this wasn't creepy enough, things get even worse. Once the bloodworm has its prey ensnared in those hooked jaws, it will inject it with a paralyzing venom that incapacitates the victim, so it can be digested and eaten alive. This venom is chemically similar to that of a scorpion and is known to cause severe reactions in humans, including burning, tissue damage, and anaphylactic shock. Please do not attempt what you're about to see. Oh, almost got it. Ah, I missed it. Oh, come on. All right. I've got it. Oh, wants to bite me. That is the proboscis of one of the biggest bloodworms I have ever seen. Holy moly. That's over a foot, for sure. Okay, time to get bitten by one of the only venomous worms on the planet, the bloodworm. Got a good hold on it. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Ah! Yeah, oh, God, he's on me. Oh, look at that. Ah, he won't let go. He won't let go. Oh. Oh, he's in. Go, he's really on there, guys. I can't get him off. He's biting me. Oh, he's got me good. Yeah, he got me. Ah, man, it didn't break the skin. It was definitely latched into me, but its fangs I don't think are long enough to break the skin of my finger. I wonder if I try on a softer part. Let's try my wrist. It's a little bit thinner there, a little bit softer. All right, here we go. Let's go in for the second bite on 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah. Oh, yep. See him tug on the skin? Ah, he's latched. He's latched. Ah, yeah.
I can't get him off. Yeah, he's got me. You see that? Keep rolling, keep rolling. I'm gonna try to pry him off. He's really latched on. Come on, let go, let go. He won't let go. He won't let go. Gotta get him off. Oh yeah. That was a full-on bloodworm bite. Boy, that burns. There wasn't much blood produced from the bite, but I've got blisters forming, and that's likely due to all the inflammation and swelling. I feel it in the nervous system. My wrist is screaming right now. Super painful burning sensation, a lot like a wasp or a bee sting. Those fangs are like little talons, and it just grabbed right through the skin and did not want to let go. They were like barbs on a fishing hook. They were just in there. And really, I wasn't able to get the worm off until it decided to relax a little bit, and I pried it back. But those fangs are definitely sharp enough. Yikes, that hurt. Now that we've witnessed what a single bloodworm is capable of, let's see what happens when I submerge my hands in over 100 of them. Do bloodworms hunt in packs? We're about to find out. Whoa! Look at all these worms. That is a container filled with over 100 bloodworms in this tank. And I'm going to attempt to submerge my hands into this tank of bloodworms for 2 minutes. All in an effort to figure out, do bloodworms hunt in packs? Ready? On 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, that feels so weird. I just took my first bite. Hit me on the pinky. It was a bite and release. Oh, I could feel them. Yeah, I could feel more proboscis going. It's like you could feel them tense up and then poof, it fires out. The anticipation is killing me. If you could see them wriggling, they have their little sensory tips, sensing their environment for anything that they can eat or get those jaws on. I could see a lot of them are shooting their proboscis out already. They sense something foreign in their environment. I gotta look away. This is like too much anxiety just looking at this container. This has gotta be the creepiest thing I have ever done in my entire life. Just so disgusting, feeling all those worms wriggling around my fingers. One thing that we noticed earlier is that as soon as one of them fires their proboscis, it seems to create a rapid fire effect. They all do it at the same time.
They're going crazy.
They are. Feel them wriggling around my fingers. Oh man, oh yeah. Got another one. Oh my goodness, so creepy. All right, how much time left?
30 seconds left.
All right, this has got to be the longest 2 minutes of my life. 2 minutes feels like an eternity. The bloodworm bite tank. This is horrible. Give me a countdown.
5.
Got me again.
3.
That's 3.
2. 1.
Definitely got nailed on the pinky on this side, and I got 2 nips between my fingers, here and here. Definitely got nipped 3 times. Wow, that was weird. What a crazy day on the Brave Wilderness channel. Well, I don't know if we can definitively say that bloodworms like to hunt in packs, but I'll tell you this. They sure don't mind sharing a meal, but man, that original bite, that was a serious, serious chomp from a bloodworm. It is absolutely swollen and very tender to the touch. I have a feeling I'm gonna be in pain. The bite of a bloodworm was no joke and ended up becoming one of the most painful experiences I've endured so far. Overnight, the swelling increased dramatically, and the burning around the bite spread through my hand and up my arm, nearly locking my wrist. Then, days after the initial pain subsided, I had a secondary reaction, where the bite zone flared up with an aggressive rash and itched at least twice as much as poison ivy. In all, it took 3 weeks to heal from the bloodworm venom, and I am here to officially say the scary rumors of bloodworms are 100% true. Here we go. That is a very good-sized Fireworm. And oh boy, does it look intimidating. And yes, welcome to another sting experiment here on the Brave Wilderness channel. This time, we're going to attempt to solve a mystery, a bit of a scientific question as to whether or not the fireworm is indeed venomous. All right, there we go. You can see the worm so much better. This is indeed a true worm. You can actually see the segments lining the entire top, and it's a lot more closely related to a sandworm and a bloodworm than some of the other marine organisms out there on the reef. But unlike most worms, it has very unique defense mechanisms. There are thousands and thousands of these small, tiny hair-like spines lining the worm's body. In fact, they release so easily, I can actually see a lot of these spines floating in the water above it. This is where it gets its name, the fireworm, because those spines are so sharp and easily projected, anything that even brushes up against the worm's body gets inflicted by a searing pain. I have heard from many reputable sources that this is worse than a lionfish sting, and it's worse than a man o' war sting, and all the other stings in this marine environment behind me. You'll notice firstly that it's very colorful. That aposematic coloration indicates that it is extremely toxic. Not only potentially venomous, but it's also poisonous. Being poisonous and venomous are two very different things. Poison has to be absorbed or ingested into the body, where venom is actually injected by means of a tooth, a stinger, or in this case, a spine. But beyond the toxins that we know are contained within this worm, let's talk a little bit about the symptoms from the sting of a fireworm. And this is from a scientific journal written in 2017. Acute, intense stinging pain, itchiness, numbness, and swelling that can last up to several weeks. Symptomatic reactions such as nausea, cardiac, and respiratory problems can occur. Dang, that would be bad. And it's so interesting to me that even the scientific community, the scientists that study these creatures, haven't been able to figure out definitively if they're venomous or not. So, with that being said, it's now time to conduct our sting experiment, and here's how it's going to go down. While stinging myself twice, once on each arm, might sound crazy, it will be absolutely necessary to conduct this sting experiment, where I will treat one arm as if the fireworm sting is venomous and the other as if it were not. In theory, if venom is present, the two separate treatments should result in different outcomes, in both pain and visible damage. Okay, I'm about to take one of the most painful stings of all the marine ecosystem. Oh, look at it flare up. Wow, look at that defense mechanism. Oh my goodness. See all those spines flare out, ready to eject? And it's not going to take much, just the slightest brush up against the fireworm, and it's gonna be instantaneous. Oh man, I am nervous. I am feeling the nerves go now. Oh boy, all right, let's put my arm in the sting tank. Okay. I'm Mark Vins, and it's time to get burned by a fireworm. Here goes nothing. Oh, that looks bad. Here we go. On three, ready? 1, 2, 3. Ah! Oh yeah, he got me. He got me. Oh! Yeah, I can feel it. Ooh. Yeah, it's almost like little electrical pulses going through the skin. You can even see, oh wow, like right away, there are all kinds of spines up and down my skin. But man, it is starting to intensify. It's like little shock pulses, like pop, 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 going through my skin. All right, this is starting to hurt. Oh man, like, oh yeah, that super burns. That burns. Holy cow. All right, I'm gonna do the second one, guys, because I don't know how much longer this is gonna be tolerable. Oh man. Oh yeah, that. Ah. Ooh. Okay, guys, we gotta do the second sting fast. Ooh. All right, here we go. Sting number 2 from the fireworm. Here we go. Right arm in the sting tank. Time for my second dose of fireworm spikes. Here we go, you guys ready? Yep, I can see them. Oh yeah, all through there. Same spot. This arm, oh yeah, you can start to see my arms drying out. See all the quills, see all the spines, all the redness. This one's about to look just the same. All right, now, I've taken the stings. Let's get the remedies out. Oh, don't do that. Don't, oh man, that hurt worse. Yeah, do not blow on them. Oh, searing like a hot needle. I tell you what, guys, I can tell right away, this isn't just irritant. There's something else going on, for sure. Woo! Oh man, you can really see the inflammation starting over here. Ah! Oh, mighty. First thing you want to do if you are stung by a fireworm is nothing. You do not want to rub the spines in deeper with your other hand because you're only going to inflict more pain onto your hand itself. What we want to do right now is wait for my arms to dry, and then we are going to use the adhesive technique to remove as many of those spines as we possibly can. Ah! Yeah, man, that is bad. That is really bad. Oh man, it is getting intense. Ah! Oh! The adhesive technique we're going to do on both arms. This is the same thing you're going to want to do to the stings. If they're venomous or not, I'm gonna try to rip out as many of those spines as I can. Hopefully this causes not too much irritation and gives me a little bit of relief. Here we go. Oh, that is tender to the touch. Oh, ready? Okay, I've got the adhesive pretty well on there. 1, 2. Oh, yeah. Woo, okay, I got a lot of them actually here. Man, that tape did a good job. At this point, we're gonna go in for side 2. Here we go. Same thing. 1, 2, 3. That really hurt. The good news is I think I got them all. Yep. You can see, got the spines out again. Now comes the second step, and this is only for the venom treatment. Like we said in the beginning, one side we're treating as if it's venomous and one side we're not. So the right side now is totally done, but the left side we're gonna mark with a V.
You may have noticed the pain I'm experiencing is coming in waves, which is another indication that something chemically and perhaps venomous is going on. But to measure the visual reaction, I will mark one arm with a V for venom treatment and then draw boundaries on both sting sites to see if the swelling expands or contracts over the next 24 hours.
Let's go ahead and treat the left side as if this was venomous. First thing we want to do is we want to apply some household white vinegar. Vinegar has the ability to render any venom that would be on the surface of my skin inert. Oh man, it feels cold to the touch, and that actually feels good. And we're gonna leave this vinegar on here for another 5 to 10 minutes, and then we're gonna go to step 2 of the venom treatment. That is hot water. Oh, yeah, wow. So far, even from the treatments alone, every indication, signs are pointing towards venom. The heat affects the actual structure of the venom itself, rendering it almost harmless and a lot easier for your body to digest and take care of. At least one of my arms is already feeling better. Can't say it for the right arm. That arm still hurts a lot. Oh, you do not want to experience the pain of a fireworm firsthand like this. This is bad. All right, well, there we have it. Usually at this point in the video, I would give you my thoughts and we'd see you on the next adventure, but we really want to see how this experiment plays out overnight. So I'm gonna head back to camp and I'll see you guys again in the AM so we can compare both of these stings next to each other, see if there's any difference.
I tried everything I could to put the pain out of my mind. But just laying there in my tent, my arms ached with increasing waves of agony as sweat poured out of my body all night long. Morning couldn't come soon enough because I knew the only thing that would make the pain go away was time itself.
I can tell you this much, I am still in quite a bit of pain. And even wearing this shirt hurts. Like, any contact with the stings feels terrible. And get this, it actually rained last night, so I got water in my tent on top of it all. So while I am feeling a little bit better, the sting damage is actually pretty significant. The results visually speak for themselves. The arm that we treated is almost healed at this point. I mean, you have some localized redness here. It still hurts, it's not done, but visually, you can see that the swelling is down. The actual inflammation is contracted to within the site from yesterday, where the arm on the right has expanded beyond the site from yesterday, and the inflammation is serious. It is very tender to the touch, much more so than the arm on the left. There is some other evidence that I want to talk about that is really important to my ultimate decision of determining the venomous nature of this animal. First thing is the obvious feeling, the sensation of the sting itself. It was a delayed reaction. When I first made contact with my skin in the tank, I almost didn't feel like anything was even happening. But within a minute, I felt that first sign of intense burning, and it only got worse. It built and built and built until on both sting sites, I felt like there was almost like an electrical fire underneath my skin. But this arm, the one we treated like it was a venomous sting, I actually saw these sites move, and we have a picture to show you. So you can see there that it was well beyond this mark. That is a very interesting indication that there was something chemically happening underneath the skin and moved that sting site beyond that line and then back again. I would have to say, given all of the evidence of this sting test, I am convinced that this is indeed a venomous creature. And yes, being stung or burned by a fireworm not only hurts, but is the result of envenomation. I hope you enjoyed this experiment with fireworms, but more than anything, I hope you yourself never have to experience the burn from this marine creature, because I can guarantee you it packs a major wallop. All right, here we go. Those are two pretty good looking Man O War right there. Woo! Careful guys, don't want to get hit by, whoo, that is dangerous. If I get whipped by that, we're gonna get stung way sooner than I want to. So everyone knows this is the end for them. When they wash up on the beach here, they will unfortunately dry out, and that's kind of it, circle of life. So the fact that we're taking these two today for our experiment is totally a good use for their end of life. And boy, do they look beautiful. But sometimes with beauty comes pain, and this is a super painful jar. All right, let's head up out of the wind and take a closer look. I remember these tables, except all of the shoots before this one, I was on the other side of the camera. So yeah, this is a little bit different than I'm used to. In this bucket, we have a variety of different sting remedies. Some of them good, some of them not so good. And that's the reason why I wanted to make this video in the first place. Let's talk about the organism, the creature, the Portuguese. Are we gonna do that every time? The Portuguese Man O War.
Although it looks like one, the Portuguese Man O War is not actually a jellyfish. It is a siphonophore. Unlike a jellyfish, which can survive on their own, siphonophores are a group of colonized organisms made up of cloned cells. Each group are responsible for specific tasks to keep the Man O War alive. Some cells form the float, which suspend the organism on the water's surface and create a sail to move with the wind. Others are responsible for hunting prey, and this is where we meet the venom-filled nematocyst. These small but potent cells cover the Man O War's stinging tentacles by the thousands, and within each is a spiral-shaped barb which literally blasts out when making contact with its victim. When these barbs penetrate the skin, they release a cocktail of enzymes very similar to snake venom. These enzymes are designed to incapacitate prey, and in my case, will cause instantaneous pain.
This animal is notorious for its sting. In fact, it stings thousands of people here in the state of Florida every single year. I luckily have never taken a sting until now. Time for me to take 2 stings from the Portuguese Man O War.
In order to compare the effectiveness of the most famous remedies for being stung by a Man O War, today I'll be taking 2 stings, side by side on the same arm. One of them to be treated with urine, the controversial yet universally accepted cure to all marine creature stings, and on the other, I will spray white vinegar, the suggested first aid from a University of Hawaii research article. Then, while enduring the venom from both stings, I will attempt to describe which of these 2 remedies relieves my pain the best.
2 sting sites, 2 different antidotes. Which one works the best? You're about to find out. Please do not attempt to do what I'm doing here today. Oh gosh, I'm so nervous I can't even get a hold of it. Okay guys, I think I got it. You ready? Ready. Okay, here we go. About to take, oh God, that looks horrible. Whew, man, I'm getting nervous. Here we go. About to take 2 stings from the Portuguese Man O War. You guys get your shots ready because this is only gonna happen one time. Terror of the ocean, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Ah, yep, it's getting me. Oh yeah, I can feel it. Ah, ooh, that's like electric. Yeah, that's 1. Wow, it burns right away, okay. Second sting, I gotta do this fast before that gets too bad. Ready, guys, ready? All right, 1, 2, second sting, 3. Ah, yep. Oh, man, that one nailed me. Oh. Okay, yep. So, instant, almost tingly, electrical feeling sting. A lot different than a bee sting or a wasp. Oh man, those are really getting in there. I can feel it now. Now, likely there are still hundreds of nematocysts that are, oh yeah, they are erupting as I'm talking to you right now. I can feel them individually firing, like pow, 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 like a series of bullets going into my skin. Woo, yeah. Yeah, you can see it getting red on both sites now. Sting site 1 up here at the top, sting site 2 down here at the bottom. I can actually see remnants from the tentacles, and those likely have many nematocysts in them. And it is getting worse and worse with every second. Oh man, this is bad. You do not want to get stung by a Portuguese Man O War. If I were a fish right now, I'd be in big trouble. In fact, I would likely already be in complete paralysis, and this Man O War would be reeling me in for dinner. Okay, let the healing begin, as they say. All right, there's 2 steps to this. 1, spray on the agent. 2, use a plastic card because you want to scrape off as many of those nematocysts that have yet to explode as you can. First site, vinegar. Here we go. Okay. Ooh yeah, smells like vinegar. Now the one I'm dreading. Gross. This is so disgusting. This is so nasty. All right, you guys are a little downwind, so you might want to prepare to duck and cover. All right, here we go. Oh man, I don't want to splash my face. Oh, it stinks. Oh, okay, that's enough. Scraping off those active nematocysts is certainly part of the equation, so you don't want to forget that step. I can actually see my skin pulsing. You guys can see my skin going up and down there. All the nerves in my arm right now are probably just screaming like, ah, intruder, we have venom. I feel so much better already. It feels like I'm on the road to healing. Man, it still burns though. So now it's just more of the burning. Okay, yeah, I think I'm ready to make a declaration of sorts at this point. Vinegar, not only more sanitary, but definitely wins the contest. This is by far the least of the 2 when it comes to pain. The urine site, not only is it absolutely disgusting, but it definitely burns a little worse. And I could definitely feel a distinction between the 2. So I'm gonna go ahead and call it. Vinegar is the definitive antidote that you want to use if you want to neutralize stinging cells on your skin. Urine, not your best friend when it comes to a jellyfish sting or a Man O War sting for that matter. And there is one last step that will truly alleviate the pain symptoms that I'm feeling in my arm. Good old-fashioned hot water. The reason hot water is the ultimate antidote to a Man O War sting is because the heat from the water will actually denature the proteins in the venom, rendering them inert, completely harmless. And then it's just up to my body and my immune system to do the cleanup work, and I'll be as good as new. Oh my gosh. Guys, I've never had a hot compress feel so good. Like immediate relief. And I hope everybody watching not only enjoyed this little experiment, but learned something to take home with you. Don't use urine, use vinegar to treat jellyfish stings or Man O War stings. And at the end of the day, hot compress is going to be your real solution.
While I did experience slight discomfort for the next few hours, the scrape and heat treatment reduced my pain to that of a mild sunburn. And by the next day, nearly all signs of redness had vanished and I was as good as new. So next time you're on the beach and you see a Man O War, avoid it. But just in case you don't, some white vinegar and a hot compress seem to do the trick. So yeah, you should leave your pee in the toilet.
And if you want to learn more about what's going on here, we do have the article from the University of Hawaii in the description. There's more science, there's more facts in there we weren't able to cover this afternoon. But I do wish you the good fortune to never encounter a Man O War for yourself so you can avoid a sting like this. I'm Mark Vins, be brave. Stay away from Man O War. We'll see you on the next adventure. All right, go ahead. Cue the music one more time.